Okay, guys, what all have you been doing since Grow a Garden pretty much tanked and burned itself to the ground? I've been playing this game, HYPERSHOT, and it's actually a ton of fun. Not gonna lie though, when I first started, I had a difficult time navigating what was going on. I'll tell you a funny story to start because I just still can't get over it, and I still can't even apologize to this person enough for using and wasting all of their game money. But when I first started playing, I saw skin cases over here, and I didn't really put it all together. And I saw, okay, cases. I'll open one, right? So I did. Spun it, and it landed on a skin, naturally. And I was so excited because, not understanding what I was doing, I was like, oh, I got this gun. Yes, what a cool gun this is, right? And I was like, cool, equip, gun, thinking, and then I literally bought a bunch more with all the money that they had and spun all the cases, and I went and told them, I got you all these awesome, cool weapons in that game that you play. And they're like, really? How? And I'm like, I spun those cases. And they just shook their head at me like, oh no, he just used all my money for nothing. Because basically all this is a skin, which is a decorative accent to your gun that you have to have in order to apply it to. And they didn't. So, lesson learned. I don't want you to make the same mistakes I did. Basically, when you come into the game, you got your main screen. It just showed you how to spin cases. Those are not your guns. You click on inventory thinking, okay, this is where I'll find my guns. And yeah, granted, you do find guns if you have them here, but you can't do anything, you can't use them from here. This is not how you find and you do that. So, in order to equip guns you may have gotten in the trading lobby ahead of time, or just finding guns that you might want to buy with the in game cash that you earned through a couple of matches that you've played, how you're going to do that is you're going to go to Loadout. This is where you're going to find all of your stuff that you need for the games, right? So I choose different weapons based on the game I'm playing. So there's multiple different game modes. There's gun game, which is not going to apply to any of this because it basically gives you a gun and you shoot, and when you shoot someone dead, you get a new gun to try and keep going from there on out. But then there's also capture the flag, there's free for all, there's team deathmatch. So basically, I like to use a shotgun or one of my rifles when I'm doing just the regular capture the flag team deathmatch free for all game mode. It's when you're in duels that you want to switch it up. But basically, your primary weapon is going to be a rifle, a semi-automatic, a shotgun, a sniper, or the random miscellaneous weapons that they have, like tomatoes and pizza. So you go through, and you're going to start off with just an AK. Relatively quickly, you'll be able to upgrade to a Scar H or a Honey Badger. And then as you start to earn more cash, you'll be able to, upgrade a little bit more if you want, or switch up and find a shotgun that you like. Once you scroll down, it'll say for sale. You can click on those ones and see how much they cost and go from there, right? So to equip it, say I want to equip a different one than I already have equipped, I could click Desert OP Rifle. Okay, I'm going to hit equip. So now with the skins that I was talking about, that's where these come in handy. So basically they would all show up here, and ones that you've spun and received, they show up here, and you click it, it automatically puts it on there, you click back, cool, done, dandy, awesome. There's also KillFX that you can buy with diamonds. There's two in-game currencies, there's coins and diamonds. Diamonds are harder to get than coins. Coins are more useful in terms of buying items, like guns, but honestly, diamonds are going to get you a better caliber of a gun if it's available through purchase of diamonds. But so, things like this, like the KillFX, you're gonna need diamonds to get those. They're not necessary, but they're fun to have. Basically, when you kill someone, that's what happens. It pops up and shows a rainbow firework type thing, or this, or some people might like to see a noob die. You get that one through the contracts. Let's see what that one, you know, a lot of different ones you can kind of scroll through and see what you like. Then also there's charms, which you can buy through the shop. Every day they update and there's new ones. Same with emotes. But you can put those on there. It's just a fun little thing to have on if you want to personalize your weapon a little bit. So each weapon also has contracts. So as you kill with the weapon, it adds up, and you know there's different levels. So 150 kills gets you this silver chest. 300 kills, I think it is, gives you a kill tracker, and it goes on and on from there. And then eventually you can get to the point where you get a rainbow skin, which is the ultimate goal. Because the rainbow skin is awesome looking. Honestly, I haven't gotten it yet, but I'm excited to get it. I'm getting there with some of my weapons. So you pick up your secondary weapon, which is a pistol, an automatic, or a little shotgun. Not really much choices there. Typically just go with the pistol. And you have your melee weapon, which is usually like a sword, pretty much. It's a handheld weapon. It's not an automatic or a gun. It's kind of just one you gotta go swipe with your hands. There's a lot of options for these. They all have the same stats. If you didn't notice, these weapons have their own stats over here on the side. It tells you how much damage it does per second, the damage it does overall. If you hit them in the head, it does more damage. How quickly they fire, how much ammo you have in your round or in your clip, and in overall. And then what kind of firing it does, if it's like a burst, a quick burst, or like a one-off, or each one has its own little description. From what I was told, and I'm not really sure if this is correct, you correct me if I'm wrong, you basically kind of want it to have a flatter line. Like, see how that one has a really flat line? It's pretty consistent from the first shot to the last shot. I think that's what you're going for more so than something that's all over the board. So like, this is my favorite weapon, and it has a pretty flat line. So that's pretty good. All right, so next you're going to want to know what your passive abilities are. So passive abilities, you're gonna grow over time. You're gonna gain them over time. So the ones that you're able to, you have to actually equip yourself, like throughout the game. You know, you have to start them up and whatnot. Are going to be these ones. So I believe the game starts you with the updraft, the regen, and the tailwind. But you're also given 2 free abilities a week to try out. Try these out, see what you like, you know, get a feel for everything. Kind of scroll through these and see, you know, what sounds interesting to you or what sounds like something that you would like to use. And it's honestly going to depend on the game mode, which one you feel like is most applicable. I like the banana bombs. I think they were like 7,000 diamonds, somewhere around there, maybe 10,000, I'm not sure. This one's great, the auto reload, especially if you're using a sniper or something that reloads really slowly. Bomber, you know, I received as kind of like a badge or like for playtime, you know. But basically, you get 3 of those, and you got to equip them all per loadout. And then these passive abilities down here are more in the background. They're just always running, and they're always applicable. They're kind of just in there, you know. I do change these relatively often based on what game I'm playing. So if I'm doing duels, which is kind of like my go-to right now, I'm always using the Juggernaut, which gives me 30% health increase, which gives me a little bit more health in my health bar. And then I also use the jacket because it gives me protection from explosives, which a lot of people in duels use these banana bombs, which are explosives, and they kind of just blow up and kill you right away. Luckily, I'm able to survive those a lot of the times and, you know, get a few shots in if I'm able, and sometimes kill them. So how you're going to get these passives is your Playtime Rewards. So your Playtime Rewards are based on the time you play, and your 5th Playtime Reward every day is a 2 passive spins. So you'd click this little guy's face, right? Which, don't even get me started on how my avatar looks, because that's a whole other issue for another day. But you would spin the wheel, and then, you know, the abilities are ranked over here and how likely they are to come up. If you get a duplicate, it is nice because it will reward you for a duplicate. So I know that the legendary duplicates give you 40,000 diamonds. Epic duplicates give you 20. Rare give you 2. Common give you 20,000 coins. And uncommon give you 20,000 coins. And common give you 10,000 coins. So that's a nice little bonus, you know, added in, especially because you don't get passive spins very often. Just those 2 a day, pretty much, honestly. So after you have all that sorted out and figured out, and you've gone through and you figured out which ones you want, or you know, spun, and which ones you've gotten, and you try them as you get them, you can't buy these. You have to spin for them. Then you're ready to go, unless you want to kill icon, which those you buy with diamonds also. Kind of just pick and choose as you wish, whichever suits your fancy. Emotes are over here if you have emotes you want to equip. Okay, so here's your main screen. So right now they're doing these lucky blocks. So you have to play for 35 minutes. You get 3 lucky blocks per day. And lucky blocks every week they give you 6 cards, and you get 3, you know, cards a day for playing. And you can, you know, get any one of these swords potentially, or guns, I'm sorry, potentially, based on what you open. So right now I have 2, so we'll open 2 and see what I got. Okay, so 10,000 coins and pink dual blasters. So it means I'm 3 away from my pink dual blasters, 2 away from my pixel energy sword. I was really hoping to get these hacker dual axes, but it doesn't look like I'm going to get those this time around. Because I believe that this resets in 1 day. And so there's only 1 more set of lucky blocks. I have 1 more lucky block and then 3 more tomorrow. So I don't think I'm going to get that. But, oh well. Next week, it'll reset. And I'll start all over again. Basically, down here in the little gift is your Playtime Rewards. So you can collect them. So let's see. I'll show you how to do the passive spins real quick. And we're down here at the bottom, and then here, and we'll spin. Hopefully I get a yellow one. Okay, so I got 2,000 diamonds for the rare. Okay, 10,000 for common. Which, it is what it is. You probably won't get the rewards back right away because you're going to be getting the passives that you don't have, but eventually you'll get there. Okay, so in addition to those kind of spins, you also have your lucky spins up here, which are also Playtime Rewards. I have 1 minute left until I get mine. But if you collect all 3 of these items up top, you get the passive ability, which is Infinity Edge, which is pretty epic. I think it shoots you forward and kills everybody, I think. I'm not really sure. I don't have it yet, so I haven't really paid too much attention to it. Let's see. So when you, over here, this is great. Every week it resets. You get weekly abilities and daily abilities, and if you are able to get to 1,500 points, which is basically completing your weeklies and then 5 other tasks from the dailies, which you can get done in 2 days if you really grind, you can claim a premium weapon chest. So the premium weapons are the ones that you're going to be able to do trading with. You can't trade in the ones that you buy with in-game coins, like the Scar H or the Honey Badger. Those aren't worth you're not able to trade those. You're able to trade the skins for them, but not the weapons themselves, unless they're a premium weapon, which you get from buying the premium weapon cases, or getting the free case a week, which is why that's so important. And so after that, you pretty much can just load in and see what the game mode is. It'll tell you up top, it says Team Deathmatch, which means you are on a team. So once you're here and you want to, you know, you're playing, so this big old button over here is your shooting button. If you have a weapon with a scope, you can, you know, zoom in and, or, you know, use your scope, shoot. So it has auto fire and auto aim, so it'll kind of help you out there. You can also turn that off if you don't want that, if you want to aim on your own. I find it helpful for me personally, but it's not necessary. You don't need it, and sometimes some people will give you a lot of crap for it. So there's my free spin. Maybe you guys will be lucky and I'll get my magic book finally. Ah, it's so close. Dang it. That's okay. Maybe next one. Anyway, so we spawned in. It's gun game. So this one we're going to have a different gun. We're going to kill people, and every time we kill someone, we get a new gun, right? So, pretty easy. I don't know why it's not shooting. Let's glitch there for a second. Okay, anyway, so dash, you can dash run. You know, it's really nice if you can find a jump pad. If you just, you know, kind of dash and then go over the jump pad, it'll send you flying, and honestly, it'll send you flying pretty far. these bonuses pop up when you kill certain people. You can get coins and diamonds that way. Whee. Okay, so remember we had our secondary, primary, and secondary loadout. So basically your loadouts, so these double arrows over here, that's going to switch you between your loadout. Well, in gun game it's not, because you know you don't have, you're not using your own weapons, your own loadout. But so it's going to switch you between your karambit and the weapon that is given you for the time. But your passive abilities are down in the bottom. You can use those. So grappling hook is one of mine. Well, that didn't work out too well, sorry. And then my regen potion, which regenerates my health bar to an extent. Let's try this again. Whee! Okay. Pick up my diamonds and my super bonus. Anyway, you get the picture. So normally during the normal game, it switches between your weapons. Sorry guys. Anyway, your knife would be this one. If you just want to put it out for a quick second and not have it out for a long term, you can hit the one with the little swishy line on it. But yeah, I hope that you guys want to give it a try. It's super fun. If you join me, I would love to play some duels with you. I can show you duels how and show you how to get there. It's usually better to start your duels from the arcade, because then you're kind of locked into the party that you're with. And you guys can just keep re-queuing instead of having to go and stand in line and wait for other people to play against. It will just automatically match you with people. So I suggest doing that way if you have the option. Alright, so now we're there. We'll go back to main menu. So where it says more game modes, this is how you can get to the trading plaza. You would just hit that and then hit Q. Or if you click trading plaza up at the top again, you can hit the Duel Hub. Or you can do 1x1, 2x2, 3x3. There's also ranked game modes, or gun game only, or snipers only, if you wanted to give those a try. Let's say you wanted to play with your friend, and there's two of you. You click this and you hit plus. If they're in the server with you, you hit invite. And then once they join, you go back and you hit Q. And it will queue you up and take you to the waiting lobby for the duel rounds. And then once it gets started, you'll pick a map, etc., and go forward from there. But I hope this helps. If you have any other questions, or if I wasn't clear on something, let me know. And thanks.